Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the 6 yard banter. In front row seat to the Premier League top six drama with a Chelsea twist. Yeah, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. All right, guys. So there's been a lot of things that has been ongoing as regards Enzo Maresca, Chelsea, this, Chelsea, that, and yada yada yada. And look, guys. There's nothing I want to say that has not been said. We all know that the board or the higher ups have actually failed Enzo Maresca in the transfer window as he was given something different from giving players different from what he requested or demanded for his game to for his plan or philosophy or style of play to move to the next level as he had planned. And instead he was given instead of Kudus, it was Kudus, Xavi Simons, and Fermin Lopez. He was given Bonanote, and up top, instead of giving getting three strikers, we were left with two, one uh, one striking one target man and one flexible attacker in Joao Pedro who can also play as a nine. But then we all know that it's impossible or something like this where players will be dropping like flies was something that was inevitable because of the amount of games that the players have had and barely had enough resting time to recover and prepare for the ongoing season. So there is nothing I want to say that hasn't been said. However, I would like to touch on a couple of tweets that I saw yesterday from certain news outlets, and we'll talk about them very briefly, and then I'll wrap up with my prediction for the game between Chelsea versus Benfica tomorrow in the Champions League showdown. So let's just dive into it. So, sources close to the club believe Chelsea's rocky start to the campaign has been somewhat overblown, and Enzo Maresca still has the full backing of senior figures at the club. He also said Chelsea have no plans to panic and sack Enzo Maresca even if they were to lose the next two games against Benfica and Liverpool. And with this, I really agree with the board on this. I think we need to understand that this has nothing to it doesn't entirely fall on Enzo Maresca. If Enzo Maresca, like I said, if Enzo Maresca ends up leaving the club or getting sacked, which some to an extent is going to be down to him depending on how he decides to use the squad going forward. Most majority of the blame should fall on the higher ups for their bad recruitment. However, we could see that towards the end of last season, Enzo Maresca has improved and he has improved massively. This is the first time or first few times this season where he has displayed immaturity and tactical ineptitude. So I think that given time and with the players returning from injury, I want to believe that we'll see a different side of the squad and how much Enzo Maresca will use the players going forward. So on to the next. Sky Carver posted that Chelsea believe they have a stronger squad this season than last season. Okay, so this comment, I don't know how to feel about it because when you look at the defense line, I understand that we don't have uh, Disasi and who else don't we have? When you look at the defense line now, we don't have Levi Colwell, and if Chelsea had made a move or an effort to get a cover or defensive cover for Levi Colwill, I think that we would agree more that we have a stronger squad than last season. But because we are very Chelsea is very thin in the back line. Now we have players like Fofana who still who's just come back and then has been sent back because due to concussion from the blow he suffered from Jorgensen. We have Levi Colwill out. These are two players that were supposed to be the spine of the team at the back line, and they are most times in, especially Fofana, in the hospital than on the pitch. So that we are thin. Now the only place where I feel Chelsea is stronger is in midfield. Now even though we don't have Darius Sugo and we we don't have Lavia all the time, we have Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez alongside Andre Santos. And I think for the duration of the time that the injured players, I mean the midfielders are going to be out for, I think that's cover to be uh, enough cover for that position, pending the time that this Lavia and Darius Sugo return from injury. My only hope is that we don't end up losing Moises Caicedo to injury whilst during the course of all this, because the man has played too many games already, and it seems to be the only one who plays back to back to back to back to back to back. And my fear is that we don't run into the ground or he start to have the kind of injury that N'Golo Kante faced in the latter end of his career, towards the latter phase of his career, where he was having um, weak muscles and hamstring and this and that and all that. So yeah, we have to be very careful with the way we play Moises Caicedo going forward. And yeah, so when we talk about having a stronger squad, I think we have a better technical squad than last season. Now in the 10 we only have uh, Cole Palmer, and in between we have Estevan William who can also play there, but not all the time because he's still young and we can't afford to expose him to a position like that where if anything goes wrong, English media and the English fans, they are very, very unforgiving. And that might actually affect his confidence that he has now. You can see the way he's playing. He's playing with a lot of joy, enthusiasm, and smile on his face, playing from the right hand side. If we throw him into the midfield, the 10 area where you don't have a lot of space to do anything, they're going to come for him if he doesn't live up to it. So right now, I can only say that Chelsea have Cole Palmer as a 10. If we had kept Joao Felix or Christopher Nkunku and we allow Nkunku partner or share the role of the 10 with Cole Palmer, then yes, I agree that Chelsea have a stronger squad. So right now, I am 50-50 on this. I don't 100% agree with this. Let me know what you guys think about that, what Sky Cover posted. If you think that Chelsea have a better squad or a stronger squad than last season. And maybe if all the injured players return from injury, and we have a lot of options on the bench and all that, and then we can say, okay, yeah, we have a stronger squad. But right now, and with the way players are dropping due to the lack of rest and all that, I don't think we have a stronger squad. If one more player falls to injury, I think it's game over, especially at the back line. Or if anything happens to Joao Pedro, with the lack of trust on towards the players from Enzo Maresca, I don't think it's gonna be easy. Okay, I don't think it's gonna be easy. And yeah, so I don't know if we have a stronger squad. I'm really, really split on that. So now I'll just quickly wrap up all this with this. Yeah, I I think Enzo Maresca needs to do better with the squad management and the way he rotates the players. Because if he does that very well, I think it should be enough to carry us till the time that the rest of the injured players return from injury and join the squad and bolster help the squad better. Because how do we take for instance Garnacho and Gittins and even McGee? How do we spend close to £90 million on these two left wingers and they've not been given any chance at all? Then during his in-game management, he also shows he makes rash substitutions and decisions, and it's it's really really concerning. I hope that it's going to take into account those things and improve better going forward, because a manager who is managing a club like Chelsea, you should know that there's no room for excuses. And I don't think that it's going to be nice, even though we're welcoming Mourinho to the bridge. I don't think it's going to be nice if we lose to Benfica. And even though the higher ups are backing him and all that, I think it's going to be bad if he doesn't make use of the squad as best as possible. We've not used Garnacho, we've not used Gittins, we've hardly used Buonanotte, we've not even used McGee. So what was even the reason why they recalled McGee in the first place if he wasn't going to use them? So you need to put all that into context, and I think that he needs to do better with the squad management. Let me know what you guys think as regards that as I move on to my uh, uh, as I react to what he said during the press interview for the game between Chelsea and versus Benfica for the Champions League. So during the press conference, he was asked a series of questions, and I like the fact that Maresca was very honest with himself and how he took accountability for the errors that he made. So during the press conference, he commented. He said, Chelsea losing 4 out of 5 games in the last 6 months with 10 players. It's a learning process for me. After reviewing the last 2 games against Brighton and Manchester United, I probably could have done better with my decisions. Football can be a crazy game. It's not something normal having red cards in games. I can learn and do better when we have 10 players. But we are calm because there is a very good feeling in the squad, and compared to last season, we have all improved. Me personally, as a manager, I feel better than last year, but there are always things to learn. And on this one, I really applaud Maresca for taking account and taking responsibilities for his poor decisions in the last 2 games, especially during the Manchester United and the Brighton game. I feel like there's nothing else for me to say there because it was all there. There was no need for him to leave Joao Pedro up there by himself against 4 defenders, and while he took out the two, he took out all the attackers. Just felt invariably he was inviting pressure, which eventually led to Chelsea losing the game. So yeah, I like that. And Pedro Neto also made a comment as regards that too. Neto, even with 10 men, you want to attack and keep a positive mind. Newcastle scored against Liverpool with 1 man down. We considered 3 goals with 10 men, and we have to do much better as a team. And I really applaud the mentality and mindset that Pedro Neto has built over time since he joined Chelsea. And I hope that this is not just him saying it, and that it's reflective on the field going forward because I even watched the game between AC Milan versus Napoli yesterday, and AC Milan were down to 10 men versus Napoli, and AC Milan still end up winning the game. These are things that have been there and instilled in the players. I think that the players need to be braver, and this should start from the coach himself, which is Enzo Maresca. When you make substitutions like that, it just tells the opponent that you're going to defend and not try to attack. And take for instance, especially where Enzo Fernandez found Gusto, and instead of Gusto approaching, running to the opponent's goalpost, he decided to do a cutback and then recycle, which then eventually gave the Brighton players room to settle in and how to attack Chelsea more, which then led to Chelsea losing to Brighton at the Stamford Bridge, 1-3. And it still pisses me off because of we've been very strong at home, and I know that at some point we're going to lose or lose the winning streak at home. But then I didn't think that we're going to be losing it to Chelsea's sisters club in the Premier League. Do you understand? It was like an audition for the Brighton players because. So in conclusion, we know that Maresca wasn't backed, and pivotal injuries. He also missing out on players that the manager wanted. Simons, Lopez, Kudus, and even wasn't even backed. Even the goalkeeper aspect was also is also obvious that we needed an upgrade there. So yeah, it's obvious that he wasn't backed. But then again, he's going to be doing himself a disservice if he doesn't make use the players that he's got. I mean, you cannot keep complaining that we don't have enough or good players, whereas we have players that he has not even bothered to use or even try out. Okay, if he's tried them out and they've actually underperformed, then yeah, he's justified to take further actions. But in the situation whereby he's not doing anything or just misprofiling players, using like take for instance, you play Rhys James in the midfield, and when you have other players that can play in that area, and all that Achiampong and Buonanotte and even Tyreek George. Tyreek George is not a striker; he's a winger, and then you use Tyreek George because you don't trust McHugh. So what's the point of why did we call McHugh? And then we have Garnacho and Gittins on the bench too. So what are we gonna do with them if you're not using them? In the end, at the end of the day or at the end of the summer, if it doesn't go well, okay, we know that we're supposed to blame the higher ups. But then again, it's going to have Maresca is also going to have some blames in it because he refused to use or trust the squad or the players as best as he should. And that's just my take on this. So yeah, he needs to do better with his squad management as well as in-game management in terms of decision making and tactics. Sometimes we should learn to catch teams on transitions or on counter, but we try and not sideways passes and all that. And just like Palmer came out during the was it the Conference Cup finals against Betis, where he came out after the game and said that he was tired of the sideways passes and all that. So Maresca needs to do better in that area. So Chelsea, welcome back. Welcome Jose Mourinho's Benfica to the bridge tomorrow. I believe it's gonna be an intense one, and Mourinho is on the manager bounce, and I want to believe that Maresca is also going to be on it to want to win the game, and I hope that we see a different side of Maresca tomorrow, a reactive one who's willing to win and win in the right way. I don't want to see so many sideways passes. I want to see players brave and players played in the right position because that has always been the the issue for most of Maresca's game, misprofiling players and playing players in the wrong positions or where they're not comfortable, especially Palmer. So I want to see what Maresca has to do or will do tomorrow. And so this is my lineup. So yeah, my with in goal I have Sanchez, I have Trevor Chalobah and Hato as a centre back pairing, Cucurella on the left, Rhys James on the right. In the midfield I have Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Sorry, I think I made a mistake in my with the spelling or omitting the player. Then on the right I have Esteval Will. No, sorry. On the right I have Pedro Neto. On the left I have Garnacho. And playing from the 10 I have Esteval William. And then up top we have Joao Pedro. In bench we have Jorgensen, Achempong, Badiashile, Lavia, Santos, Gil, Gittins, Gusto, and Tyreek George. I want to see Enzo Maresca be brave in this game. I know that we're welcoming Mourinho, and Mourinho is one who's very, very smart and one who's been in the game longer than Enzo Maresca. But I think that I want to see uh, the players attack more, even if we have to play a transition game or style of play, if we have to catch Benfica on counter attack or something. I just want to see the players play good football and have attempt on goal, other than the sideways passing that we are used to, which is now very, very irritating and boring, and most times than not it doesn't achieve anything. Instead it just attracts the opponent and puts us under unnecessary pressure. Then I want Enzo Maresca, if we are leading or winning the game and the game is towards Chelsea's favour, I think we have to prepare and bear in mind that we have a game against Liverpool on the weekend, and so we have to protect players like Caicedo, even Enzo Fernandez, and especially Reece James. We have to take extra care of Reece James because he's starting to play too many games. We all know that he's got history of injuries and all that, and we have to protect him on that. So my prediction, my score prediction as regards this game, I want to believe that Chelsea will win 3-1. Yeah, I said it. 3-1. I believe Chelsea can do it, and this is only going to happen if Maresca use the players right. Let me know what you guys think about everything I've said. Don't forget to hit the bell notification on so you are notified whenever I make a post. And I'd like to hear from you guys as regards everything that I've said in the comment section below. So yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow to give you guys my match reaction after the game, and I want to believe that Chelsea will win. Until then, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. Peace.